my god, I look so hot. Like I feel so. I feel so. I feel great. I'm just gonna say, like, I feel great. Let me see what my mic is doing because you know this mic be letting me down sometimes. There was something I wanted to grab from over there, and I feel like I've not forgotten what it is. Okay, I remember. All right, so this is what I wanted to grab. My stress balls. Oh, I just felt it. God, I feel so good. I just felt it. And I literally, like, this week, like earlier this week, I was like, you know, farting is such an amazing experience. Like, it's such an amazing part of the human experience because it's like my body, she just stinks. My body, that is disgusting, has done this really amazing thing. Like, my body has taken in food, has processed it, has used what it needs. It has, like, put the parts it doesn't need aside. Like, it has done everything it needs to do. And it releases this gas that's like a signifier, like, of the fact that this process has happened. That in itself is such an amazing thing. Farts for me are a representation of a process that my body has completed. They make me feel alive. Farting makes me feel alive. It makes me feel like, oh my God, like there is this beautiful system inside me. There is this beautiful process inside me that has happened. And now I'm getting the output of that process. That is amazing. That it feels like it feels great. The scientific aspect of it feels great, and then the experiencing of it feels amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Farts are wonderful. So, all right, we're gonna get comfy. That's that's things. So yeah. Hi, 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 guys. That it scares me to say hi, guys, because it's like suddenly I'm acknowledging the fact that people are going to watch this, and it makes my fears and my anxieties like feel more real. And I'm like, oh my God, people are looking at me. Somebody's looking at another human is looking at me. They're here. They're expecting something of, yeah. You know, I've been dealing with anxiety. Anxiety be holding my neck, and it's just like, you know what? Even though I understand anxiety from a spiritual angle, I understand that anxiety is a sign that I care. It's a sign that I want this to go well. It's a sign that I love what I'm doing. It is still difficult to deal with because the other side of it is that it makes me forget who I am. So me feeling anxious is like, have I forgotten that I'm the same person who recorded an entire season of a podcast? Like, have I forgotten that I've been in front of the camera so many times? Like, I've forgotten. Like, I forgot. And that's the thing. Like, that's it. That's the light. There's the light side of anxiety, which is the way I see anxiety is love in overdrive. And then there's the shadow side, which is it makes me forget who I am. But I understand. I get it. And so which is why I've like picked up this my stress ball and I had to hold on to it, and for the moments where I feel like I'm gonna like escape my body, like I can just breathe and come back in. So yeah, hi guys. It's me. It's because I am, yeah. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to be here. When I say things like when I name my emotions, there's a part of me like watching other episodes back. When I name my emotions, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to be here. And it's like, show the excitement. Don't name the feeling, like show it. But being an autistic babe, yes, I'm autistic. I'm on the spectrum. Being an autistic babe, I'm not very good at showing emotion. I'm better at like naming my emotions. And not to say like there's a score for like how you show your emotions, but it's just like, yeah, like I don't feel emotions in my body. And that probably has something to do with like, you know, like there's a bunch of things that's connected to that. Probably has something to do with my PTSD, CPTSD, you know, all of it. Anyway, we're not here to like talk about my mental conditions, my diagnosis. We are here to talk about SOA. Brap, 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 brap. So, it's been an entire season of my podcast, speaking of Afrobeat. The journey has been kind of rough, I would say. Um and that's mainly because, right, my standards are high. My standards are very high. Excuse me. Excuse me. And as a baby creative, I'm still in that stage where I'm adjusting to the shit phase. I'm gonna call it as it is. I'm keeping one eye on my microphone thing because it's making me feel like uneasy. But I know everything's fine. I didn't even do a test. I just jumped straight in. But I'm trusting the universe that everything is fine. So I'm gonna come back into what I was saying. So yeah, I'm still in the like shit phase of things, right? And I absolutely recognize how much work I'm. Oh, bless me. What the hell? Oh, bless me. It's cold season. The seasons are changing. We're going from summer to autumn. And so there's a cold going around. I've managed to avoid it because I haven't been outside in a while. But I went outside yesterday. I went to get my brows done, went to get my hair cut, and I'm sure I've picked something up from outside. And so this is the result of it. Okay, so I've had an entire season of this my podcast that I've like just refused to let go of, and I'm going to refuse to let go of. I'm going to keep trying. To me personally, like my standards are very high, right? I have a certain look in mind. I have a certain like vibe in mind. I just have like ways that I want this my podcast to look, and I have a feeling that I want it to give. But right now, it's not giving that yet, and it's making it hard for me to attach to my podcast, making it hard for me to love my podcast, for me to come back and keep like pouring myself into it and putting myself into it and growing it, because I want it to already be good like this. Like I don't like want to go through the process of like the shit parts, right? Like there's gonna be shit parts to like any creative process, and I'm still in the shitty parts. I'm still in the like cringy parts, and I'm still in like, oh, that could have been better phase of things. And so I'm like, it's hard for me to like come back here. and pick this thing back up and stick it out and do it. And even though I know it's what I want to do, like in my heart, but I'm back now, right? It's been 3 months. I've taken a 3 month break. The season was meant to end in July. I've taken 3 months off it, gone to focus on something else, went to go build my business, trying to get my life in order and all of that. And now I'm back here and I'm like, I'm not going to let go of this thing. I don't want to leave this thing alone. I'm not going to leave it alone. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to push through the beginner's phase, right? Because there's this like meme, the ones with the writing, right? There's this meme thing that says like, you cannot make your 50th episode without making your first. Like, you cannot make your 50th podcast without making your first. Your first one is going to be shit. Like, it's just it. Like, I'm now having to like adjust my ego to be like, okay, fine, it's shit. Like, season 2 was shit. And like, that's it. It was crap. It was boring as fuck. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, because there was one time, I went to my barber's and like I was talking to my barber's and I was like, oh, I've got a podcast. And he's like, oh, like what's the name of the podcast? And I told him the name of the podcast. And he went on Spotify and he put it out and he played an episode. He played an episode with me and Trill. And he played the episode and I literally like heard the podcast from the perspective of an outsider, from the perspective of the listener. And let me tell you, I wanted to like enter the ground. I wanted to be like it was so cringe, because the conversation, it was just very vague. I don't know, it just didn't hit. It just didn't feel like two human beings talking. The volume was like low, like it felt very spacey. That's how I heard it. It was so spacey. And I was hearing it from his perspective as a listener, and it felt very cringe. I mean, there was still a part of me that was like still proud of myself. Like, look, I made something that was like, that can be pulled up. But the reality was I didn't feel proud of my podcast in that moment. I didn't feel proud of that episode. It was one of my favorites, but it could have been better, right? But I get it. I'm still in the beginner's phase. I'm still a baby creative. I'm still just starting out. I am still learning. I'm always going to be learning. This is where I am, and I'm now learning to like adjust to the reality of like this being where I am. So I'm okay with that. I'm learning to be okay with that. And that is why I'm here to do a recap of my second season. Okay, so to recap on this season of my podcast, I am going to talk about my favorite episode, my most challenging episode, and one lesson I've learned from this season of Speaking of Afrobeats. So, my favorite episode, I will say, I have two, but I'm going to choose one. Okay, I'm going to choose one. I have it. My favorite episode was... My episode with True. That was my favorite one. That actually was my favorite episode. That was it. That was the one. Like the actual like experience of that. That was it. I You know what I really liked about that episode? What I liked about that episode was True going from like this, because he when we started, it was like this, right? And by the end, can you see my arms are folded? Like when we started, it was like this. He came in like really tight, really guarded, really like, didn't know what to expect. And by the end of that episode, it was like, it was very like more like, it was that was actually like really, really fun. Seeing him go from that to like that was really cool. Another reason I really liked that episode because I myself was very, very nervous, like going into that episode. I was so stressed out. I was so freaking stressed out. So, on the day of that recording, excuse me, the AC in my studio has stopped working. The AC in my studio has stopped working, and I had a guest on the way. Now, on the day that I did my podcast launch party, right? I'd scheduled my podcast launch party for the afternoon in Lagos. My mindset was we're all gonna be in the studio. The AC was there, and I'd bought an air cooler as well. And then on the day of the launch party, the AC stopped working. The AC stopped working, and the sun in Lagos was crazy. It was afternoon, like high noon. The sun was insane. There was a bunch of people, and the air cooler definitely would not have been enough to cool that space. So I already knew, like, my studio, like the AC needs to be like on full blast for like at least an hour before the person gets there for it to be okay. And then that day, the AC stops working. I'm like, fuck. So I start panicking. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, shit, like, it's going to be super hot. Like, we're both going to be uncomfortable. Like, this is not even only about him. Like, I'm also going to be uncomfortable. Like, I can't sit there in the sun, in Lagos sun. And the roof of my studio was like plastic. Like, it lets the sun through, like, fully. When I'd actually built the studio, I'd had like this like carport sheet thing laid over it. The sun melted that sheet, melted the roof. Like the roof started leaking. There was so much going on with that. So I was like, yeah, the AC needs to be working, but the AC wasn't working. And so I turned it on, called the AC guy, and I turned the air cooler on. I was just trying to like just see like, okay, what can happen? Like just hoping for a miracle, something. Maybe there was a part of me that was like, okay, maybe like this guy just won't come. But the way I had got him to come, like I had accosted him at a party and I had accused him of being a terrible human being. So I knew he was going to show up. And so I was panicking because, oh my God, he's going to come and this place is going to be hot as fuck. Like we're both going to be uncomfortable. And I thought, okay, you know what? Push comes to shove. We're just going to go in my living room. We're going to record this episode in my living room. Now, I would rather that didn't happen because I'm the kind of person, like, I like to keep things separate, right? I like to keep those energies separate. I built a whole studio so that I would not have to record in my living room. So I would not have to invite people into my living room. Because that could be weird for both of us. That could be weird for them. That could be weird for me. Like, I was just very, like, I just didn't want that to happen. But that day, I was like, you know what? If this AC thing can't get figured out. Like, we're just gonna go in my living room. I thought, okay, cool. I'll leave it like that. And then I called my assistant because I'd asked her to get the AC guy. So I called her like, what's up? She's like, okay, the guy said he's on his way. And she was like to me, oh, it's raining on the mainland. 'Cause she was on the mainland. She was like, it's raining on the mainland. I'm like, no, like it's sunny as fuck here in like on the island. She was like, oh, okay, okay. But he's on his way. I was like, all right, cool. And then a few minutes after that conversation, it starts raining. I've never been so happy to see rain in my life. When it started raining, I was like, yes, thank God. Thank you, universe. I was so happy. Because I was like, okay, well, at least, right, like, it's not going to be, like, so hot that we can't sit in the studio. Like, it's going to be cooler now. And, like, the air cooler is going to have an opportunity to do its thing. And so, and that's even when I was like, oh my God, like this is a sign. Like the universe wants me to be here. The universe wants me to be doing this thing in Lagos. Like for this thing to happen, like it was so clutch. Like it came like at the perfect time. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I felt great. And then he arrived, and then he got there. So Tro got there, and we went in the studio, and then the studio started leaking. It's like the roof started leaking. And so we went from like dealing with the sound to like dealing with the rain, like trying to put buckets out, like trying to like gather the like rain. It was a lot. And we were expecting another member of his team. We were expecting someone else. So we both like just sat there and oh, so okay, and my friend at the time was also with me. And so there's three of us in the studio, and like we just like chilled and just waited the rain out because it was very loud. Like as I said, my roof is plastic, so the rain was very loud. So we all just sat and like we just drank wine and we just talked and we just chilled, like listened to music, and just waited for the rain to like just chill out a bit. And as soon as like the rain kind of calmed down, then we started the episode, and he was like really guarded to the point that I think I told him to take off his sunglasses. He was wearing sunglasses. I was like, please, like, come on. And he did. And then when we started, I was like, okay, what's your name? He's like, Trill. And I'm like, okay, like, what's your actually like your real name? I mean, he didn't even want to say his real name. I was like, okay. In my mind, I was like, okay, all right, cool, 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 cool. Like, okay, okay. And then we started, and like, with time we kind of got into it, and we just started talking and all of that. And by the end of the episode, he had like loosened up a lot more. And when we got to the games part, then he really like came alive, and he was like really like engaged, and that was cool to see. That was very, very good to see. So that was my favorite episode of the podcast. Just seeing that transformation from the start to the end, seeing how the universe came through for me. The AC guy actually arrived in the middle of me recording that session. And when he came, I think the AC was even like, it was okay. Like, it wasn't, there was like, he couldn't see what the issue was. Like, it had started working back by then. So the issue was intermittent. And by the time he got here, the AC was fine. Also, because the sun wasn't like, it had come to like evening times by now. So the sun had come down, and so it wasn't so hot. So the AC had gotten a chance to actually like cool the space. And so, yeah, like that was actually like really cool. Like his team member, his friend who was expecting, his team member got involved. My girl, like, she got involved as well. My friend, she was helping me behind the camera, like, she got involved in the game. It kind of became like a team 44DB against like team SOA. Like, it was cool, like, it was competitive, it was fun, and this is a gaming part. That was a very, very, very fun episode to record. That was great. I had to take a shot, and that was gross, but still great, still a wonderful episode to record. My most challenging episode to record. My most challenging episode to record was the one. Oh, there's more than one. There's more than one. But again, I want to choose one. Okay, I'll go with the first one that came to my mind. My most challenging episode to record, was my episode with SJ. That was my most challenging one to record. And that was challenging because there was a few reasons, right? The first one was because I feel like we could have done better, right? Or maybe I could have done better. It's my interview, it's my podcast, right? So maybe I could have done better. But then again, like, you can only like work with what the guest gives you also. And I felt like SJ gave me nothing. He gave me nothing. He was very guarded. His energy was very, very guarded. Maybe because it was Nigeria, because it's Lagos, and you know how Lagos is. I kind of like understand when like people are like on the edge in Lagos, because it's Lagos. I feel like I could have done better, because like we're two kids from London. Like, we could have had like so much more to like talk about. Like, that episode could have been more like, could have been livelier than it was, because like we have similar backgrounds, right? We both, I think we both studied like in the UK and in Lagos. Like, so we have that like mixed heritage thing. We grew up in both countries. Like, we're both from London. He knew what college I went to. And we could have just done like so much more, but I feel like I very much kept it surface level, and he was willing to like let it be surface level. I feel like I sensed that like maybe he thinks I'm trying to catch him out thing, and then I kind of like backed off, like, to just like help him like stay comfortable. There was cute parts of the episode because like we had the parts like where we shared stories about like crazy stories in Lagos, and like the craziness of like moving from London to Lagos. And that's something else that we both could have connected over. But then I feel like connection requires like two people like coming up to share that experience, right? Maybe on my part as the host, like, I could have like reached in and like tried to like draw it out of him. But that also would have required a willingness on his part to open up and share that experience. So I feel like that could have been more exciting than it was. It could have had more sparks, and it could have had more like, oh my god, like like crazy moments kind of thing. And SG and I had actually been in a crazy moment together. We've been in a fight, and not all me and him fighting. Like, he had actually fought somebody on my behalf. Like, we had argued. Like, we actually had like an actual like relationship, like an interaction, like an acquaintance type of thing. I'd seen him like many times, like, so it just really gave like we were strangers meeting each other for the first time, and that's not what it was, and that's why I was like, yeah, that was challenging. Yeah, like, I'd been out at a party in Lagos, and this random guy like come to like bully me, and SJ was with his friend who's our mutual, and they had both like fought the guy, And we were talking about crazy stories in Lagos on that episode. And like, that was a crazy story that we both experienced together. And we didn't reach for that. And it was just like, yeah. Like when I saw that episode again, like when I watched that episode back, I cringed. I was like, oh, that could have been better. Like that could have been so much more than what it was, that episode. Yeah, that one. That was my most challenging one. But I learned. I've learned from that. I think like now that I'm here, I'm like, you know, I kind of see like what I could have done better. Um, for both of my episodes actually, and this probably now leaning into one thing I've learned, the lesson I've learned, right, on my second season, on this season, is to ease my guests in, right? And there's this podcast that I listen to that says like everything is like sex, right? She said your approach to sex is the way you approach sex is the way you approach life. And that's what it was. And when I processed that, I was like, you know what, everything is like sex. Because with sex, we all understand the importance of foreplay in sex. You can't just jump in. Like you need to like ease, just build up to the whole thing. And that is what I was missing in this season with my guests. There was no foreplay. Straight up. There was no foreplay. So yeah. Something I've learned with my second season is to treat every single episode is like I'm gonna look at it like sex. I'm going to look at it like sex. Right now I'm in my ovulatory period, so like that's what's coming to me. Like that's the energy that I have, right? I'm going to look at it like sex. Like I have this like creative energy, and I have to like look. When you look at something, like creativity is basically the end product of sex, right? Like us being here, like we are creation. We were made from sex. And creativity is a product of sex. So you have to look at the process of creativity like sex. Like you want something to come out of it, and you are engaging with this other person to make something happen. So it's important to look at it like that and to approach it with that energy, understanding that there needs to be like consent first of all, and then there needs to be the communication, like, okay, what do you want this to look like? What do you like? What do you not like? And then the actual the actual experience needing time to be eased into, giving people time to get comfortable. For me, I feel like when people arrive at my studio, one thing I've learned to do now is to just have like an introduction, just to tell them like, okay, this is me, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want this episode to look like, like what do you want to talk about, like what are you okay with talking about, what are you not okay with talking about, just helping them get comfortable, helping them just relax. Yeah, because now I'm looking at it from that person's angle, and I'm like, this is your first time in a space that you've never been before. For most people, like they've only met me maybe once before, and now you're in my space. So it's understandable if you're guarded, if the person is guarded. Like I get it from their angle, I get it. So it would have been very important, or it is very important for me to ease people in and to help them get comfortable and to give them time to get comfortable and to gradually start up the interview process. Also, I learned the importance of small talk, right? Small talk. Small talk is very important. And me, being a neurodivergent, I don't know how to do small talk. Right? I'm like, boom, get right. Let's go right in. But now I'm learning that small talk is very, very important. It's an important part of the process. It's part of the foreplay of the whole thing. Like, we need to, it's like a roller coaster as well. That's another thing, roller coaster. So like when you get on a roller coaster, you start off with the it goes, there's the anticipation, right? Build up anticipation before you then get to the climax, and then you come back down. Just so that learning that curve, that start high, come back down, rather than it just being yeah, yeah. That's the thing. With my season 2, my episodes were very much like this, then down, or this up. Yeah. So it was like, yeah. That's what it was. So now, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's I'm learning, as I said, like, it's a journey, and I'm remembering, right, and I'm practicing, and I'm reminding myself that every master was once a beginner. Every pro was once a learner. I enjoy learning. I love learning. But the process of learning involves making mistakes. It involves not being immediately great at something, you know. It involves like putting your ego to the side and be like, okay, I don't know this thing, but I'm willing to learn. And so that's what I'm doing with my podcast, speaking of Afrobeats. I already know Afrobeats. I love Afrobeats, but I'm new to podcasting. I'm new to podcasting. And that is the part that is beating my ass. But I'm fighting back. I've got hands too, right? I'm fighting back. And it's one thing to know these things. It's one thing to know that, okay, like, I'm still new, I'm still a beginner. It's okay if my podcasts aren't like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It's okay. It's okay for me to still be in like the 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 region. Like, it's okay. And honestly, for a beginner, for me to be in the 5, 6 space is fucking great. It's amazing. I'm a 10 out of 10 girl. Like, when I do something, I want it to be 11 out of 10. I want it to be like up there. Right? That's me as a person. But reality is that, when I'm new at something, I am going to come in at the 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, then get to the 5, to the 6. That is the natural process. That is how things are. It's one thing to know it, and it's another thing to practice it, right? And that's why, like, even though I know these things, the feeling is still there. The feeling of like, oh, but it's not so good, and I kind of don't want my name attached to something that is not good. And it's normal. That's a normal human feeling. And it's also important to know these things, to acknowledge them, but to still show up. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm showing up. So, yeah. This is the recap of season 2 of my podcast, Speaking of Afrobeats. Go watch that. I'm so glad I did this. Like, this, oh my God, like months and months and months and months. Podcast recap, episode season 2 recap, season 2 recap. I've done it. So yeah, this is me, guys. I've had an amazing time bringing this season to you guys. Like, yes, I still feel cringe about it. I still feel like a bit sad. And I wish it was like a 9 out of 10. And like I wish like every single episode was like bang, 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 pop, 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 pop. But it's like I still love my podcast and I still like yeah, I'm still here and I'm still gonna keep going and the next season is gonna be better. And the season after that's gonna be better, and the season 4, season 5, season 6, I'm gonna keep coming back. Actually, I'm actually thinking of like, I'm even thinking of like this like season, like the way I want to structure the episode, like the next season. Like, do I want to do episodes, seasons, or do I want to free? You know. But yeah, I'm gonna be back for season 3 of my podcast, Speaking of Afrobeats. Also, though, I am gonna say update. I'm not interviewing anybody again. Yeah, I think I'm done with interviews for a while. I'm okay. I think this next season is gonna be just me. Yeah, no interviews this next season. I'll say that. I'll definitely tell you that for sure. My next season is gonna be just me. Not just me. I don't like saying just, but it's gonna be me. My next season is going to be me and you guys. I am not going to be interviewing any artist in my next season. I would love to be here and build a relationship with my listeners, with my viewers. I would love to be present, get comfortable with being here, like taking up this space, owning this space. And also, I think that would also give me, it would also help my future prospective, like people I'm going to interview in the future, right? Because there are people that I would still love to speak. There are artists, Afrobeats artists that I would absolutely love to speak to interview. And I definitely feel like having a whole season, right, that is just me, where I can really be myself, where I can show who I am, will really help the artists who are going to come on my podcast next, because they will be able to see like who I am. They'll be able to get a flavor of like what kind of person I am, like what my episodes are like, the kind of things that I talk about, like my opinion on, like they'll be able to see it, so that when I do invite people to come on my podcast, they can have some sort of background. They will have something to go off of. So, we'll help them to get more comfortable with being on other episodes of my podcast, Speaking of Afrobeats. So that is it from me, guys. It's me, Cokes. Big Cokes to you. Thank you. On second season, I was speaking of Afrobeats podcast. You guys don't know how happy this is making me feel. On this season, I was speaking of Afrobeats podcast. I'm gonna go. I keep going like this. I yeah. It's great to be here. I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for staying with me on this season. It's been amazing. It's been scary. It's so scary. It's been amazing. I'm here. I'm doing it. And I'm going to keep going back. And I can't wait to be back with the next season of Speaking of Amories. Yay! So, all right. Until next season. See you guys. Bye. Bye.